Hello, YouTube. Thank you for joining us for this DebateCraft production of the second episode of On the Spot, the show where we have a member of the DebateCraft community join us and we put them on the spot by asking them questions submitted by the DebateCraft community. Joining me for this episode is Savant. He's a very well-known and respected member of the community. Savant, are you nervous, excited, or indifferent about being on this episode?
I've been on debate things before. I haven't done the interview format, but I'm excited to try it out.
Excellent. I'm sure it'll prove to be interesting. I have 3 questions. This is still early in the existence of On the Spot, so we haven't quite found exactly the best questions to ask, but I've got 3 all set for you now. So the very first question for you today is, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Oh, probably pizza.
Any particular toppings on that pizza, or just plain cheese pizza?
Pepperoni. It's very just mainstream.
That is a very uncontroversial answer, though I suppose favorite food isn't necessarily going to be controversial. Pepperoni pizza, that's a good answer. DebateCraft has many quality debaters. I'm sure I could write a whole list of them, but this question wants to know, who is your favorite debater on DebateCraft? And why?
Probably, let me think. I think probably White Flame right now. I liked reading Bones' stuff, but he's not as active right now debating.
So White Flame is your favorite debater. Who, the other member you said was Bones,
No.
you said?
Bones. Yeah, he had some pretty interesting debates back in the day. I think he has a blog as well, but he's just not as active right now. So of the people who are active right now, probably White Flame.
White Flame's a good answer. I think a lot of people would tend to agree with that. I know I certainly do. That's who I would choose as well. Do you have, related to current events, and you can pick any current event you would like. So this next question is, current events, what is a hot take you have related to current events?
Oh, current events. Let me think. I thought it was just going to be any controversial opinion, but I don't know that my takes are that extreme. I mean, I could just have like takes that kind of relate to current events. Like I know immigration and ICE is a big thing right now. I would probably be in favor of widely increasing legal immigration. Like I guess close to open borders, though not exactly, but it would probably be seen as open borders, or around that level of extreme by the mainstream right now. I don't know how controversial that opinion is because a lot of people will say they like legal immigration, but I think just right now saying we should be letting in more immigrants is probably a controversial opinion in a lot of things.
So I would agree, saying just open borders is pretty controversial. I want to just take another step there and then ask you, because you brought it up. What is your most controversial opinion if you had to pick one on politics in general?
Just any just really controversial.
Yeah, if you have to like say, okay, that's opinion I know is outside of the mainstream. The Overton window, here's my opinion that's far to the left or far to the right of the Overton window.
Okay, here we go. I think I've mentioned this one before, but I think that government restrictions on consensual incest are effectively eugenics.
Government restrictions on consensual incest. Okay, so you are eugenics.
Effectively eugenics.
I would say that is a controversial opinion. I think most people have not probably put a lot of thought into what the current rules regarding incest are, knowing that I think the government frowns on it and most societies do in general. So you're saying that rules that we have typically now that we understand of regarding incest are, and since you're calling eugenics, I guess you're saying it's a negative thing.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't want government restrictions on it. I mean, I could see like the logic behind discouraging things that are going to increase the risk of genetic deformities in the population. But I mean, it's just hard for me to see drawing a line between that and, what used to be a common thing where you said like people with disabilities that are going to pass them on to offspring should be like banned from having offspring.
It's a fascinating take because, when you just say the opinion, there is going to be a knee-jerk reaction of like, oh my God, you're against what our conventional wisdom is on incest, but you happen to be absolutely correct that it certainly is eugenics because it's the government saying, well, you can't do this because we disagree with the outcome of this, and the outcome of that, the reason it being the rules they are is because it does show that we have negative outcomes from it. That's a fascinating take, and actually, there probably should do a video specifically about that. Do you have any final thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I guess just on what I've said already, if you want me to clarify, like I think the other major argument is like the power imbalance argument, and that's why I add the consensual qualifier on it. I think that some people would probably argue that there's always going to be a power imbalance, but I don't see it that absolutely necessarily. Like obviously between like minors and parents, or maybe even parent-child relationships after they're above the age of consent, I could see a big power imbalance there. Between cousins and siblings, it seems a little bit harder to make that argument, and it would again be based on just reducing undesired or reducing genetic deformities in the population.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if someone wanted to make an argument for eugenics, maybe there's a utilitarian argument to be made for it, but it just seems hard for me to distinguish one as more justified for the government to ban than the other.
It's certainly a fascinating discussion, and I think you've given some interesting food for thought in general about it. I think to start a conversation there, you would have to move away from the child-parent thing, but the
Yeah,
siblings-cousin thing, as a starting point, remove some of the
yeah,
moral implications. So it's certainly a
yeah,
fascinating topic, and one that we may want to actually do on a DebateCraft discussion on video
yeah.
or in a thread. Well, thank
That
you
might
so
be interesting.
much, Savant. I really appreciate it. If you have any thoughts, thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. If you have any thoughts, please leave a comment, certainly about what Savant just stated. Like, comment, surprise. Thank you so much. Have a great day.